Good morning, good evening. This camera is being naughty. I ran tests all week, fixing it, solving it, so I thought, and then it turned itself off again just as I was getting ready to stream. So I don't know what the problem is. It's got new stuff in it. Anyway, if it goes down, let me know. I have a secondary camera. I can jiggery pokery. I'm very frustrated. Let me just say that, very frustrated that after hours and hours of testing on Tuesday and Wednesday, that it just turned off again, which it did not do in any of the testing. It's very frustrating. Anyway, welcome to this week's live craft and chat, where we're crafting and chatting live. Now, guys, I was too busy troubleshooting to share my stream out. So if some of you could possibly share my stream into the usual places, I would really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I do try to get it out beforehand, but today has just been one of those days. I had some client work I had to do, and for whatever reason, I could not get the Google Drive to work on my phone because I needed to post on Instagram, and Instagram posting from desktop is a pain. Anyway, it's been a tech hell here this morning. Absolute tech hell here this morning. I need to craft, okay? I need to do some craft. I need to make some stuff. So let me know, what are you working on in the chat? Let me know. Let me know. I am putting the border on this blanket. I've got 2 rows so far out of what I want. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add all 5. I wasn't going to, and I was like, yeah, I'll just put 3 on. No, I'm going to put all 5 on. So, because I pulled all the monitors in, the tabletop light will be a bit different. Let me just push some stuff out of the way. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can get the shot. There we go. Yeah, did I bring in the hook? I mean, I don't think, oh, there it is. Oh, I nearly had it. I'm like, oh no, I left the hook in the living room after all of this. And this morning I thought, oh, today's going to be lovely and cool. It was nice and dark and grey, and now it's just humid and awful. So Abby is now repeating all the words that I have to say. So yeah, that's not going to wear thin real fast. Just weave in this little end I spotted, because I've been trying to get all the ends in as I'm done, so that way when it's done, it's done. So let me just get that through there and then put that end back in there and pull him through. Okay, snips, snippity, snippities. There we go. All right. So good morning to everybody jumping in. Sorry, now my monitor's not straight. I'll just have to deal with it, I know. Josephine saying good morning to Leslie. I must have missed Leslie saying hello. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. I opened this screen a bit later. We've got Knitspin Girls Creations and Josephine and Leslie all in early. Yeah, I know, Chantel, fingers crossed you get it sorted quickly. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know what its problem was. Technically, everything is fine. It's a brand new piece of... It was apparently exhausted battery was the problem, so I bought a new battery. Guess what I'll be buying today after the stream is the power supply. I thought, oh, I won't need that. I've got the new batteries. No, I'm getting the power supply. That's going to happen straight away. Teresa, great to see you. Good evening to you as well. Never let technology know how badly you want something to work. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that just the truth? Oh dear. All right. Leanne, it's great to see you. You'll be out and about. You'll be listening. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. All right. So look, if you've been around the fiberific traps for a while, you know my favorite stitch is the half double crochet USA, or half treble if you're in Australia or UK or many other places. So pretty much any excuse to work lots of half double crochets, I'm pretty happy about. Let's be honest. So doing this border in the half double crochets, but through the 3rd loop, means that they'll all lay forward. So I'll get this sort of section where there'll be this row of these stitches sitting sort of flat and forward. And in the last round, I will be adding in some slip stitches behind it just to try and push that final round forward a little bit as well. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to be doing. I'm up to the third color, so I'm going to go, what color am I? I've got green, purple and pink left, and I want to do the pink row last. Turn around, little footstool. So I think after the blue, I might do the green. Yeah, I'll do the green because the purple and the blue, I mean, you know, they will stand out against each other. But I think the blue and the green will be more, not complementary, but what's the other one? Where, I mean, they're all complementary colors, but contrasting. Contrasting is the word I'm looking for. I think the green will be more contrasting. What do you think? Blue or, sorry, purple or green? So let me know. Purple or green next. I mean, they're both going to happen. So, you know, it's just a case of which one goes next. So I'm just going to pop this here. And while you guys let me know that, I'm going to move my empty coffee cup and bring over my teacup. Dolores says a blanket is looking great. Thank you. Thank you. Lots saying green. Yeah, I'm thinking the green, but you know, I'm having one of those days where do I trust my brain? Knit Spin Girls was always going purple. Like, let's be honest, we know that. And Leanne was always going green. Because you girls are nothing if not reliable in your love for your colours. Sarah says, hello, I'm lurking while I saw dinner, but I still wanted to say hi. Hi, Sarah. I have seen you in so many chats in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah. Am I the odd soul that likes the purple? But no, you're not alone. Knit Spin Girls also prefers the purple. So, I mean, and like I was saying, it's not that it's not going to, all the colours aren't going to be in there. They are. I'm just trying to work an order because the purple will go after the green. So which, you know, it'll just be a case of if we go green, then purple, then pink. We've got the pink here because the pink is going last. Or do we do purple, pink, then green? Like, I probably should have put that pink in. So we'll do a recount because that might change your decisions. So these are the three colours left to go. The pink will be going last. But, you know, you guys decide. You guys can decide. Yes, so let's see if the close-up camera can do a better job on the colours here. Good morning, close-up camera. You might be a little bit dirty, actually. We have got the pink. Yeah, you're a smidge on the dirty side. Let me just give you a shush. All right, let's try that again. All right, so we've got the pink, the purple and the green. No, don't be zooming in on stuff. Well, close-up cam wants pink. It's just doing this on its own. It's just like, whatever, we want the pink. No, we want the green or the purple or the, yeah. It's just really decided to zoom in on those colors. And it's just not zooming out. Oh no, it's just off in its own little world, aren't you? Like, oh, look at that join. That's a pretty join. Can you stop? You're hilarious. You definitely have a mind of your own. Like, let's be honest. So we do have the pink, the purple, and the green. So I don't know, like seriously, little camera. Do you know what? I'm just going to pick you up. I didn't want to pick you up. I didn't want to do that because you know, shaky hands and all. There we go. And then throw the blue and the peach on. I'm trying not to shake my hands too much, you guys, but you know, I can't. And it keeps trying to do its own thing. So, all right, I'm going to pop it back over here. And I'm going to come back to to this screen. Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know why this is so subdued, but it is definitely subdued. Let me just look at here. I'm just gonna, oops. Let's go to the Logitech Brio and see if we've dropped the saturation down for whatever reasons. Yeah, the saturation had been dropped. I would hazard a guess that the saturation has been dropped since we were doing the hot pink. Good chance. Good chance that the saturation hasn't been what it's needed to be because of that. All right, let's have a look in the chat here. Knitspin Girls was given a metric ton of sock yarn on Tuesday, so no prizes for guessing what I'll be doing. A fingering weight blanket. Let's have a look. Knitspin Girl says, how good is that contrast between the blue and the purple? Look, now that we've got better color here, I can see it too. I can see it. Sarah says this is a good way to spend a snowy 13 degrees C with wind and a snowfall warning. I have a sweater on the needles and I'll go back into it once dinner is done. Oh, nice. Dolores says green, then purple, then pink. That's kind of where I'm sort of, you know, green, then purple, then pink. That's kind of where I'm leaning. That's, yeah, I think the color is better too. I agree. And Leanne says both look nice against the pink. They do. And that's the problem. They all look nice against each other, which is the problem I'm having. On my phone, I see the colors. On my TV, the colors are different. Absolutely, they are. Every screen is different. When you're purchasing yarn online, you need to be aware that whatever screen you are looking at is different than the screen that they edited those photos on, and you will see something different. I've heard some seriously bad horror stories from dyers who got messages from people who are like, this isn't what I thought it was. And, you know, they take a screenshot and their phones have got like some, you know, anti-blue filter on or something like that, you know, when they're doing the nighttime viewing and things. It's just like, honey, you are never going to see the right color. But yeah, just, and just people's like, people having different devices with different settings dialed in and everything looks totally different. And it's a real pain. It's a real pain. Like from somebody who used to take photos, I would work so hard to match the colors of what it was in my hand to what was on the screen. And then even when I looked on my phone or my iPad or, you know, a different phone, 3 totally different images. It's an issue. It's a problem. You just have to be willing to go, something like that will be fine. Something like that will be fine. The Game Widow says, I just found a package of fleece I'd forgotten about. Now to find the energy to scour it, comb it and card it. Oh, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Vampire agrees with Bianca and Dolores. Green, then purple, and then pink. Look, I think that's what we're going to go with. I think we're going to go with the green, then the purple, then the pink. All the colours are getting used. No one's missing out. It's just a case of what's going where, when. Alrighty, green. Oh, that's right. I need both ends, Chantel, because I'm like, oh, which end is it? Nope, I want both ends because we're doing 2 strands at a time. I'm also consciously trying to get words out, consciously not starting all of these in the exact same spot so that I don't have like 11 billion bits of woven in ends in one corner kind of thing. Yeah, like you said in the video title, you are the boss of your crochet. We're all the boss. We're all the bosses of our own crochet. We really are. And even if you're working, the only time you are not the boss of your crochet, because there is times when you are just not the boss of your crochet. The times that you're not the boss of your crochet is if you are working for a designer and you have to portray exactly what they want. That's it. Any other time, if you're making anything that's not commission work or paid to be completed exactly like a picture, it is your crochet and you get to do whatever you want. Also need to finish up the great use of handspun project. Yes, you do. Sarah's dinner is done. Now she's back at her keyboard. That is awesome. Oh, absolutely, Anne. And certain colors are difficult to photograph. Isn't that the truth? That beautiful flamingo pink from my blanket sent my cameras on a loop every single time. Every single time. Like absolutely every single time. Molly's saying, what does it look like with a value finder? I don't know what a value finder is, Molly. No idea. I'm sorry. My camera hates purples and some blues. It just can't get them right. Yeah. Yeah. My particular, like for taking photos, purples and blues was the hardest. But for videos, anything really, really bright. Isn't there a way to set a color using the gray? Yes, you can try and set for color balance by utilizing a color card. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as stick the thing in there, tap it, and everything's perfect. There's still nuance. So it makes life a lot easier if you've got one of those color cards. Definitely, but it's not the be all and end all. Now, Bianca's problem of taking photos of white could be solved with that, but when you start adding in the other colors, that's where it gets trickier. So yeah, getting a and then like there's the question of how bright a white do you want? Like if you go to a paint store, how many shades of white are there in a paint store? There is 11 billion, you know? So yeah. Let me see. The old Susanna, thank you for putting your name in the back. I've spent 2 hours this morning hand cutting Corriedale into little roll ags. I've still got about 750 grams to go, but at least it's all prepped to a high standard, ready to wash the locks, etc. I love that. I love that. I cannot think of her name. Somebody please tell me. Old school spinning instructor from New Zealand. I can't think of her name for the life of me. Just does phenomenal work, phenomenal lace work specifically. I watched a tutorial of hers and it was for washing and carding fleece. And she quite literally uses a block of Sunlight soap and hand washes every lock individually, right? Which if we've got a kilo of fleece, we're just like, whoa, right? Like, oh my gosh, that is going to take forever. I can picture that she made some amazing things for royalty. I cannot think of her name. Oh my gosh, I'm such the worst person. And originally I thought, I am never hand washing locks individually. I want a way that I can just wash them, like a big pile of them together. Well, I thought, oh, look, I'll just give this a try, you know. I have to test it before I come back and go, this is crap. Well, I got the most beautiful, clean locks. And the thing was, and it was in the comments of the video, and she replied to some of them. And some people were like, well, that's ridiculous. Who's going to hand wash individual locks? And she just went, how much lace weight do you think I can get out of one of these locks? So she would each day wash a handful of the locks, then let them dry, and then she would like prepare the ones that she did the day before and spin those. And she could spin so beautifully and finely this amazing gossamer lace weight that 6 to 10 locks of Corriedale was actually quite a lot of spinning. So it comes down to, what are you spinning for? What are you making the yarn to be? Now, if you just want rando bulky weight or even DK weight yarn for whatever reason, yeah, hand washing lock by lock, that's going to get old real fast. But if you're doing super fine gossamer weight, you know, for like wedding ring shawls and things like that, then, you know, having them hand washed individually could actually be fine for you, because, you know, by the time you get sick of doing that, you want to go and spin something, you've probably done, you know, 10 or 12. And because of how she did it, because my other concern was, oh my God, it looks like she's felting it. So she'd moisten the block of soap, she'd wet down the lock and just scrub it. And I'm just like, she's going to felt it. But what it was cold water, and just the sheer amount of soap meant that it was never going to be able to felt. And I was just like, oh my God. But she got the most beautiful, soft, gorgeous looking. And there's so many ways to do it. There's so many ways to do it. But don't discount the slow way just because it's a bit slower. Let's have a look here. You can get really different color results from where you take the photo. I take a photo in my lounge and one taken in my kitchen of the same item, and they look completely different. Oh, absolutely. It can be background surfaces. It can be the surfaces that your light is bouncing off. It can be the kind of light in your room, sunlight versus like an overhead light bulb. You could think you've got the same light bulbs in every room, but do you have the same light fittings? Do you have the same light bouncing off the wall and off the ceilings into the same directions? There are so many different things to take into account when you're taking photos. But when you find that lovely spot that gets you the photo that you love, take a photo of the setup that you've made. So next time you can come in and go, okay, I needed to stand in this spot. I needed to put this white card behind it, or, you know, clear this section of the table, including everything behind it, like in the distance. You know, like there's lots of things that you can sort of look at. And I'm that person who, like, if you look in this room on the floor, there's little bits of painter's tape. And so, like, you know, when we do like the spinning video, the spinning live streams, which we haven't done in a really long time, and I probably should do another one. But when we do the spinning live streams, I've got the spots where my camera tripods need to stand, where each of the tripod legs need to go, where the front edge of my chair needs to go. In saying that, haven't done one in this new chair, so I probably have to do some jiggery pokery to check some stuff. But yeah, it's just like lots and lots of different ways to do things. And, you know, if you're spindle spinning rather than wheel spinning, it's, you know, you don't mind that yarn, that fiber that you just washed today needs time to dry because you've got all the stuff you did the day before. And it's one of those things where you do like half an hour of one thing, move on to the next thing and get that done. It also is really good for your body to move around and change positions and do different jobs. So yeah, let's have a look here. Game Winner says, a couple of years ago, I scoured a fin fleece and hand carded it and spun it on spindles and wove it into a cape type thing. It was a huge project. Yeah, I can imagine it would have been. Susanna says that I separate the locks and then organize them in a line in fine mesh, and that's enough work for me. Yeah, a friend of mine uses tulle. She made like these tulle envelopes and then just uses like laundry pegs to peg it closed. And she washes like a ton of fleece like that in her bathtub. She does like boatloads at a time because she has like a pile of these tulle envelopes and just does heaps. So it's not to say that these other ways aren't good. They totally are. I'm just giving you an alternative. If you don't have all of the, you know, the space to lay out 11 billion 11 billion locks where it won't fly away in the wind, then, you know, this could be an alternative. This could be an alternative. Susanna says, yes, the locks are really chunky, super crimpy, and just flicking the tip with your fingers brings it out. Oh, that is nice. That's nice. Sarah says, even the angle of the sun makes a difference. Absolutely it does. And the time of the day, because your sun will give you different colours. So, you know, in the morning, at least in Australia, in the morning it's more whiter light. In the afternoons it's more golden. It's going to depend. Tape the floor like a murder scene of where you put your tripod. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my God, you read my mind, or I so read yours. Oh dear. But yeah, it's definitely different ways to do things. None of them are wrong. Like let's be clear. The only wrong way to wash your fleece is if it gets felted, right? That's it. That's the wrong way. There's so many different methods. Like there's one method that I haven't tried because the thought of it just makes me nauseous, is the suet method, where you basically put the fleece in the water far away from your house because it is going to stink to high heaven, and the natural bacteria eats all the lanolin and stuff off it. And then you give it a little zhuzh after that, like give it a little wash with just some standard stuff, like just soap rather than fiber scour. But yeah, and that apparently works a treat, but it takes time and it's stenchy. It's so stenchy. Yeah. Sarah makes an excellent point here. I also would argue don't pick a method you won't be able to finish. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because at half finished fleeces, whether you get them all washed and then you've got nowhere to lay them out for them to dry, and you've got to bundle them up to dry them, and then they smell manky, and absolutely. Let me see. I've got some mesh laundry bags. I'm eyeing up some old mesh curtains to make something to keep the fleece from blowing away in the sun. That's the other thing. Like having it in the mesh envelopes, you pull it out and you sort of check them, and then you pop them back in, and you can literally lay those mesh envelopes on top of your clothesline and then peg them to the clothesline. And then they don't, because you want them flat so that all the locks don't just fall into one spot, but you peg each end to the clothesline as well, and then they can stay in those, and you don't have to worry about them flying away, and they'll dry, and all that, and keep their shape, because that's the other thing. They'll keep their shape. If you're going to all that effort to separate out your locks, to put it into mesh, to wash it, you don't want it to turn into a felty mess. Susanna says, I purchased the 3-tier herb drying rack that hangs up and it zips so you can close it and nothing blows away in the wind. That is awesome. Sarah says, I was thinking washing it all out with such detail is something I know my ADHD brain would abandon. See, my brain, every time because I've done a kilo of fleece that way. I wanted to see if I could, I didn't do a whole fleece. I just did a kilo of fleece. And it took forever, and I was able to do it because I didn't do it all at once. I didn't go, right, I need to do this kilo, hand washing it lock by lock today. I didn't put a time limit on it other than I need to do this an hour a day. And I sat down for 1 hour each day and did the task and ticked it off a list of tasks, which, I've been looking at some stuff, and something I stopped doing, and it wasn't like an intentional stop doing, it was just something I just stopped doing, was making my lists of what needs to be done each day or how much focus to give something each day. And I've realized that I've been losing my focus a little bit and getting a bit overwhelmed with how much I've got to get done because, it's just, dodgy. Hang on a second. On my screen, I can see a tiny chantel between the arrow keys on your keyboard. What? Is that a reflection of another camera shot made tiny? And hello, everybody. I'm not sure. I mean, I am tiny. I need to fix that. There we go. I'm not sure. A tiny chantel between the arrow keys on your keyboard. I mean, I am near the arrow. Oh, wait. I see that. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Wow. Hang on. I need to get rid of that. Let's see. All right. That's that. There is definitely something there. You are right. It's the hands down shot duplicated. So I'm just gonna bin that. That is, Do you know what? I'm actually just going to eyes off on it. And I think I'm going to sneaky put that in some other things. Yeah, I turned it off and on again just to see if that's what it was. Oh my gosh, that's weird. I've never seen anything like that before. I must have accidentally added in a secondary. So weird. And it was so tiny. That is so odd. That is just so odd. Is that reflection? It is the reflection of the light off my top. Wow. You're right, Russell. The red top is so bright. It reflects onto my hands. I thought it might have been just because we upped the saturation just a little bit, but no, that's definitely reflection. Oh my gosh. And it's there again? Really? No. Shown in current scene. No, it shouldn't be there now. I wonder how far behind we are in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Can you still see the little tiny hands? You know, not these big ones, the big tiny hands, but the little teeny tiny hands. You know. Oh, it's gone now. Oh, good. That was so weird. I'm like looking at it thinking, I don't know what drug she's on. But no, definitely, like, I don't know how you saw that. I'm on like a massive monitor and didn't pick it up. That's so weird. It's gone for everybody. Good. So yeah, so because I did flick it off and on just to double check that I wasn't accidentally turning off this main shot, because it was a duplication of the main shot, so I didn't want to accidentally kill it. So I just, because you've got a little thing where you can eyes off and on, so I turned the eyes off. So it's always a show for sure. Yes, it is. It is. And Russell, we're like, what on earth is going on with Chantel's main camera? Because on Monday's stream, it totally dropped out. It just disappeared in the middle of the stream. It turned it out to be an exhausted battery because of how the Sonys work. You actually plug a power cable into the side of the battery and it charges the battery up like they're proper batteries over time. And look, I've been not surprised the battery was exhausted, all right? Like, I got that battery when I bought the camera in 2019. So it's done every stream where it's been manually, like where it's been charging like that. And lithium batteries, that's not their jam. They don't work like that forever. Anyway, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll buy new batteries. Cool, no problems. Bought new batteries. And then just as the stream started, like was about to go live, the camera turned off again. And I'm just like, what the heck? What the heck? So I had to just turn it on and hope it stays on this time. Otherwise, we will go to the backup camera, which I do have, and it is set up and all that sort of jam. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to stop traffic with this. It's quite red. Let me just see if I can, like, I may have overcompensated with the saturation a little bit. I mean, it's still going to reflect. What can I do? Like, I need to just put a barrier between me and my work. I'm like, what have I got? It's not going to add too much heat. Oh, jeez. All right, note to self, don't wear this top live streaming again, like if I'm working on projects. Oh my gosh. Yes, I did work out that Monday was Super Bowl, but not till after I'd already, was like committed to the stream. So, yeah, it was a fun one. It was a fun one. See, look at how nice that blue is setting up now against the pink. It's a peach, but yeah. And the green will also tilt forward when we do the next row as well. So they'll all tilt forward. Now, this week, I've been cleaning out this office a bit just because it was like getting a bit crowded in here. I was just dropping things in here as, and not putting things back into storage after I'd rifled through them, gotten out what I wanted. And so I went through and moved a couple of things back out to storage, and there was a little bit of like stuff that I could just get rid of. So I got rid of that couple of boxes, like the K-Do box. Don't really need that now. It's like I kept it just in case I was going to send it back. I'm not sending that thing back. I love it too much. You know, little things like that. So I went through, had a bit of a zhuzh. It wasn't too bad, like, let's be honest. But I was just like, the gap between me and the drawers behind me is only very small, and even adding even something small in there, like the pack of blocking mats, that nearly halved the space behind me. So just moved a lot of that stuff, put it back in its spots where it actually goes, and some things were new, so I had to find spots for them. Made my brain real happy. It was just like, oh yes, this is great. That's right, we love it in here. I forgot about that. Anyway, while I was doing all of that, I found that god awful Karen. Is it Karen on the Go or something like that? And I was like, oh, I'm going to just bin it. I'm just going to get rid of it so that my brain just doesn't have to look at it. But instead of binning, I was going to say perfectly good yarn. It's not perfectly good yarn at all. But instead of binning the yarn, I realized poor old Lou Bear has one little blanket for in here. Like, he's not here right now, but I can show you. See, is it gonna, there we go. See how it's got one little blanket underneath his bed? And he loves that little blanket. And when it's cold, that's actually on top, and he burrows between that and, we had a different blanket last year, but he only has the one blanket. So I just thought, you know what that Karen could be good for? It is Karen on the Go. I binned all the wrappings and everything for it. It was that one that was in that weird circle that it's like, it's supposed to be like no, like no snagging and all that sort of stuff. Hang on, we don't need Louis there because he's not even there. He left us. Abby gave him a better offer, so he's probably out in the lounge room hanging out with her. So, yeah. It's a Ogo. I don't know what it is. It was like the big circle. The colors changed, and like they were like make beanies with it. I tried touching it. Not the biggest fan. And I was just going to ditch it because and I bought it on ridiculous sale. I did not pay full price for it. So glad I didn't pay for it. Anyway, I've realized, you know what? That's actually going to make a really nice dog blanket. So rather than throw it away, I will turn it into a pet blanket. I haven't decided what stitch I'm going to do yet. Doesn't need to be big, so I don't need to worry about, you know, making sure it goes far. Just needs to cover his little tiny dog bed. So, you know, but something that I can work up fairly quickly because I hate the yarn, right? I hate the yarn. So it needs to be something that works up fairly quickly and goes from there. Let's have a hit. Hey, Callie's Crochet. Great to see you. What am I making? I am making a blanket. That was just, it was a spur of the moment. My brain was hurting and I needed to calm down, kind of, you know, it needed to just stop for a minute. And it just happened to be, I had a bag of Karen cakes in beach glass, leftovers from a blanket I made for my daughter. And they just happened to be in a project bag next to my couch. I've got a little nest and it just happened to be sitting right on the top of that. So I just made a square, and then I made another square, and then I made another square. And then I got to a point where I went, okay, I've got quite a few squares here. I should probably do some math and work out what I want to do, because I was like, oh, I actually like how this works out. Realized I have nowhere near enough of it to make a blanket, but I did have plenty of Bendigo 4-ply cotton, so 2 strands of those together filled out the extra spaces. A join as you go that I learnt from Hooked by Robin, which she has a great tutorial on her channel. So that's what the join as you go is. That's the Bendigo cotton again.
Tell Grandma what you just did.
Do I need to mute so nobody else hears on the live stream?
I ate half a bowl of yarn.
No, she didn't. What yarn was she eating? Where was it? Do you want to bring me the yarn so I can see what it is? Okay. Apparently Macy's been in the living room just eating my yarn. Good job, kitty. Maybe that's what's been making her feel unwell. But anyway, so What was I up to? Oh yeah, join as you go. So I've been joining it with some cotton as well, and now I'm using the extra cottons to tie it all together as a border. I'm doing a half double crochet border. Yeah, all the way around in all the colors of the Bendigo cotton I was using because I used up all of the Karen cakes. So yeah. Let's have a look at Karen Colorama Ogo. That's it. That's the one. It's awful. Sarah says Shadow Cat has decided that a cashmere sweater I accidentally felted is the best cat blanket ever, which is adorable. I mean, at least it's getting some use, right? I would be devoed if I accidentally felted a cashmere sweater I'd made. I would absolutely be devoed. I was pretty upset when my husband felted a pair of Angora socks that I'd made for myself, like rabbit Angora, to the point where they could not even fit my little tiny, tiny feet. So that was really disappointing. It was one of the first pairs of socks I'd made for myself, and I don't even have them. There's no proof. There's photos. There's photos that they existed. Other than that, there's no proof they existed. So no, it sounds like she's okay. Abby stopped her. I'll be very curious to find out what yarn she was eating out there, because I didn't think I'd left any yarn down for her to get. So I obviously have not been as cautious as I should be, because both Louie and Macy, Louie more steals the yarn and unravels it and then lays in it, kicking around, making an absolute mess of it. Macy legit eats it. So I have to keep the crate of, what's it called, of Brava worsted totally locked and away. She is obsessed. If I put it somewhere and leave the lid off, I come back and she's laying in it. There is something about the Brava worsted that she is obsessed with. So I don't know. Oh, you didn't make it, but it was still bought. So you spent your hard-earned money on it instead. Yeah, once something's felted, like properly felted, it's near impossible to fix. Oh, Bianca says I've shrunk a few things I've made. The most devastating was a black mohair jumper. Far out. Macy is nearly, I want to say 2. I want to say Macy's 2. I would have thought she was grown out of it, but apparently not, it seems. I will say I haven't seen her eat yarn for a while. So I'm very curious to find out what yarn she's been nomming on. But she's been a bit under the weather today, and so maybe that's why. Let's keep going. Yeah, sorry about the glowing shirt, changing the inventory colors of everything. I'll try and pull my hands away from the shirt. I had no idea it reflected like that. I just wanted something light and cool to wear because it's so hot today. Let's have a look. Let's look at what the temperature is saying, because maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just overheating, because, I mean, like, let's be honest, that could legit be the issue here. I'm just over here. I don't want to accidentally show my screen, because who knows what's coming up. Abby probably sends photos of random stuff. Look, it's actually not that bad. I don't know why I'm so complaining. All right, it is 27.6 degrees. Feels like 28.9, so that's actually not too bad. Last night when I went to bed, it was 23.5, feels like 29.5. So the feels like is you know, when you add in, like when the Bureau of Meteorology adds in like the humidity and stuff like that. So we're currently only at about 67% humidity, which surprises me, because it feels like I'm walking through soup out in the living room, because we must have had some rain overnight and then the sun's come out and it's like, oh, look at all these rain puddles. Rather than just let them soak into the ground, I'm going to suck them up and not just evaporate them into the clouds, but I'm going to let them swirl around as a gas and just make everything damp and, you know, feels like a humid soup. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. Great, hey. Great. Let's have a look here. Just checking the chat. Yeah, we got Macy as a kitten. Can we trade, please? Please. Look, I would happily send you, say, 15 degrees, or even 20. I would even send you 20 degrees, because what are you at, minus something? So we'll get you into the positives. and drop me right down to the bearables, right? Like, there's some people who are like, oh, I love the warmer weather. And I'm like, you can just go and die in a hole. Like, seriously, don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me. I don't want to know about but warmer weather is so much nicer for doing all this. What? For doing what? Like, if it doesn't involve a pool, the warmer weather is nicer for nothing. Like, seriously. Vampire says, starting to feel like a meerkat today, waiting for the delivery truck, so I poked my head out with each loud noise outside. Yeah, and then this crap would be rain. Yeah, that's true. It would be rain. Sarah says, I'm okay with heat, but if it's humid, that's when I'm out. Yeah, look, and we don't get heat without humidity here. We're subtropical. If it's hot, it's humid. It's very rare that we have a hot day that's not humid. It does happen, but it's just about always humid. So, yeah. Bianca's having a good old laugh. Siobhan says, Izzy said yes, you can go and die in a hole. Humidity in Melbourne sucks. Yeah, I'm with Izzy. I'm with Izzy on this one. Sarah says, but I live beside a giant lake, so it's cold, it's damp. I live beside a giant lake, so if it's cold, it's damp and cold. If it's cold, it's damp and cold, and if it's hot, it's humid and hot. Sorry, it took me a little second. It wasn't how you wrote it. It was how my brain was trying to read it. But yeah, I can imagine that wouldn't be great, except for, like, there'd be some nice advantages to living beside a lake. Like, I would assume. I've never lived beside a lake, but it sounds nice. Game Winner says, I live in Melbourne. We have days where it's hotter than Queensland and awful. Those days I'm tempted to get Chantel down to fix the temperature. Yeah, it's just like how much is an airfare just to fly Chantel to Melbourne? Because for some reason, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, whenever I go to Melbourne, the temperature plummets. We went to Melbourne to stay with some friends at Christmas in December, hottest time of the year. It had been 35, 40 degrees leading up to us coming. So we packed clothes that, dealt with that. We got there, the temperature dropped to 10 degrees. Emma rings me. Are you in Melbourne? Yes, I am. Well, can you go away? So, yeah, it's different. It's just different. Leanne says, people that like our summers are young and foolish. I agree. Oh, gosh. It moderates the snow. We get much less snow than further north. And I would assume that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm assuming that's a good thing. Mel says humidity in Melbourne plus evaporative cooling is the worst. Look, I will say the one thing I love about my little house that is falling down around my ears is that all the air conditioners are fully functioning. It's like, oh, look, we've got holes in the roof and we have to put buckets down and no damn roof guy will like, we've had like umpteen quotes to come and get the roof like fixed, right? Like, we've got a brick and tile roof. We need some tiles replaced, but that needs a bit of work because it's a very old brick and tile roof. So we need quite a few tiles replaced and like a system replaced, right? But only in one section of the roof. It's not a whole re-roof the roof. Well, because of that, when we go, oh, yes, please, we'll have that done. They're like, yeah, no worries. We'll let you know when we can fit you in. Because apparently it's like half a day's work and they just don't want half a day's work. They want all these weeks of work at someone's house. And you're just like, but we've got rain coming inside and we need it fixed. I mean, we just have buckets that solve it, but it'd be really nice if the roof just kept the rain out. Like, that's such a novel approach. It really is. And it really ticks me off that these guys will come out and quote it. And like, you tell them before they quote it, like, it's just a part of the roof. It's not going to be a full re-roof the roof job. Been quoted before. They come out, they quote it, and they're just never interested in actually doing the work. And it is so, so, so disappointing. It's just so, so disappointing. And, it's frustrating. Anyway, our air conditioners all work. So the rain may come in. We may have to put buckets out when the rain comes in. We've got sort of two major spots and one little spot if the rain is just insane. and we can put buckets in. I mean, ready for some overshare. The hole in our bedroom is directly over our bed. There is nowhere to put a bucket. So what I did is I got an old metal knitting needle, put it up inside the hole so it spreads the weight across. It actually is up on joist, so it's not even on the gyprock, it's on timber. And I put a hair tie and loop it over the handle of a honey bucket. And it just sits up above the ceiling fan, because it says a ceiling fan. So it just sits up above the ceiling fan and just collects the drips. And every now and again we get up there with a big bucket and just tip it into it. Anyway, and this is the thing, it's not torrents of water, it's just drips. But it's enough to be so annoying. Like you wake up in the middle of the night because the drip has hit the fan and just splattered across your skin. So yeah, it's, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it works. Yeah, isn't that the job of a roof, to keep the weather at bay? You'd think. My dad likes the heat. If it's 24 degrees, he complains that it's freezing. He keeps trying to convince me to set my new aircon to 28 on cool. No. I'm with you. No. 24 on cold. Thanks very much. That's where my aircon sits. 24 on cold. So, yeah, it is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It does work, but it is absolutely absurd. Game Widow says, I grew up in the desert. Humidity is wood to me. Did that auto check, or is it a saying? I don't know. Humidity is also the early warning of storms that are nasty. See, all our storms are nasty. Or most of them. All the storms are nasty. Not all the rain is nasty. So, yeah. Just not my favorite. Anyway, so, we just keep calling roof guys. They keep coming out and quoting us. We accept their quote. They never tell us when they're going to come. Weird, not wood. Okay, thank you. I had a feeling that there might have been some sort of change there because, autocorrect is awful. I just want to say I don't write as much about ducks as Google thinks I do. So, yeah. Alrighty. Oh no, look at this. We've got a Louie in the wild. Hello, Louie. What are you doing, big man? Do you want scratches? It's like no. You're watching what Abby's doing to see if she's doing something fun. Most of our storms just sort of are, but when you get the freezing rain, that's when it gets nasty. Yeah, we get a lot. We have like a lot of just rain, and the rain's fine. It's when there's a big storm that gets a bit nerve-wracking. Abby's just said to me, "Big storms are good. Big storms are good to watch, but." Abby's like, it's a good storm when the power goes out. She's right. It's a good one. And yeah, so, it's one of those things. Sarah says we do have the joy of the occasional flood though. Yeah. So do we. We're pretty, we've been very, very lucky in our particular house of there not being any flood water come into our home, but our yard has been flooded by less than exciting stuff. But also our region gets hammered with floods. So it just seems like I don't remember. Let me know if you're from the Brisbane area. I don't remember there being this much flooding in the 80s and 90s. So let me know if I'm just oblivious. Because that's the thing. I could be legit oblivious. But I just don't remember there being this much flooding in the Brisbane area. I remember my mum talking about the 74 floods because she grew up in that. Yeah, Chantal used to have a good time when it poured with rain. Yes, until the council finally came and solved. Well, they didn't actually solve their problem. What they did was they stopped their problem landing in my yard. Yeah, yeah. Game Winner says the electrical storms at this time of the year are scary. The area I grew up in was recently burnt in lightning struck bushfires. Oh, Louis just left us. Good job, Lou. Leanne says the weather has changed plenty over the decades. Yeah, I think like and it's just like because I just thought like I remember when I was a kid, like hoping for the 40-degree days for no other reason than school was closed. Like so, if it hit 40 degrees for longer than like half an hour, we got to go home, right? Because the school couldn't keep us cool enough. Because, you know, we barely had fans in most of the classrooms. There wasn't air conditioning. But I remember like being sent home a couple of times a year because of the 40-degree days. And, you know, I mean, now we don't hit 40s a lot unless it's like feels like 40 because that happens. But it definitely, I just feels hotter. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just my brain going, you know what? Heat equals bad. Who knows? Oh, a little bit of, come on, brain. Housekeeping. This Saturday is our productivity stream. That's the one where we kick back, I put the tunes on, we just work away with whatever it is that we're working on. That is this Saturday. My Saturday, it could be your Friday evening if you are on the up and over. So, this Saturday, so in a couple of days, those of you that are Caffeinated Crafters peeps, I will not be at Caffeinated Crafters next Thursday. Also, there'll be no live stream here next Thursday, my Thursday, maybe your Wednesday, because I'm going away. I'm having a holiday. Myself and my husband are celebrating our 22nd wedding anniversary, and we're off for a few days. So no live stream next week, but there'll be one on Saturday. We'll have our productivity stream. So this Saturday coming. So yeah, so keep that in mind. So if you want to, you can watch previous live streams. You can hang out in the chat, and read the chat of previous live streams of something you haven't seen before. Maybe go back in and watch another productivity stream. They're always really good, just because the music is what keeps most people going on that one. Oh, thank you for the anniversary wishes. I appreciate that. Leanne says, oh boy, I'll be home for this one, I think. Oh, well, that's nice. So that's cool. So we had our members only call last Saturday, which was so much fun. Thanks for everybody who joined in over on Discord, where we could have our Zoom style call and all chat and talk to each other. And I got to see what you're working on and things like that. Love that. Whereas in this week will be a productivity stream. Game Murder says school closed for 40. Not my school. We suffered through. We had dodgy window aircon that sometimes worked. No, most of the schools I went to were lucky if they had ceiling fans. There was no air conditioning in any of them. So, and I went to a lot of Queensland schools. So they were Queensland schools though. Yeah. Bianca says, I bet you can't wait to enjoy a few days off in a lovely place. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to just chilling and not doing too much, relaxing and just getting some feet up time. I plan on doing some swimming. We're going to catch up with a couple of family members and just hang out, and we've got some friends we're going to see as well. So yeah, it's just going to be a nice week. Sarah Dawn says we wouldn't get close to feels like 40. Sometimes we close the roads if they get too icy for school buses to drive safely. If it got below -20, then recess was inside. Oh yeah, I remember I've been like, because I've been watching a lot of like lovely content from like Alaska and Sweden and Svalbard, of lovely cold places. It helps me to cool my brain down. And in a lot of those places they talk about like there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. So like you're just not prepared for the weather. So yeah, because like for me, I'm like I cannot even imagine -20. I just can't. Like I think the coldest I've ever dealt with is like -5, maybe. Oh, hang on, I caught the yarn. I'm always welcome to come visit in Canada. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I've never been to Canada. So I've really never been anywhere except for I went on a cruise that took me to Port Vila and Nemea. I was supposed to stop somewhere else, but we were out running a cyclone, so let's just say it made for a fun cruise. Then and then my trip to the USA last year. That's it. That's the extent of my travel outside of Australia. And even within Australia, I've only done like mostly the East Coast. So I've been up to Cairns and Port Douglas, like right up north. And then I've been down as far as Melbourne and like some of the towns below Melbourne. But I've never been to Tasmania, South Australia, Northern Territory, or Western Australia. So I haven't really done much. Like, you know, I haven't traveled much at all, really. Let's have a look here. Cheryl, great to see you in the chat. New York upstate is freezing here with 20 Fahrenheit. We need to, what's 20 Fahrenheit equals in, where's my phone? There it is. Let's work out what that is in centigrades. 20 F2C. Oof, -6.6. That's not awesome. That's not awesome. So yeah, that sounds very cold. That sounds very cold. So let me, and I'll convert Sarah's -20 to Fahrenheit's. -20C to F. So Sarah is got -4 Fahrenheit. Did I read yours right? Let me have a look here. I'm confused for a second. Let me double check. Okay, you've got 20F. And Sarah is Sarah's in Canada and she has -4F. Oh my gosh, Leanne, you're right. I've been to New Zealand. I've been to New Zealand a couple of times. Hang on. I've got a tickle in my throat. It's actually really annoying. I don't know what I breathed in, but I breathed in something. There you go. You can have some Louis camis back. Wow. I don't know what I breathed in, but it was just sitting there. Sarah says, I've been to the US several times and I've traveled to various parts of Canada. Want to go back to Quebec City. It was pretty. Gosh. You're from the snow to the desert. Yeah. Sarah says, we're not that far apart, but the wind is brutal. Yeah, because New Yorkers, like, it's like New Yorkers on the side. Like, if Sarah's something just blew through my fan is what it was. Oh, it just got me again. Abby, did you spray something? Because there's something trying to kill me in here and it smells like your body spray.
I was just in the laundry, so no.
All right.
I can spray something in there if you want.
No, I'm good. I don't need the help of your body sprays on top of whatever this is. Oh, you're in Toronto. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, something definitely came through the fan and just blew straight into me. Oh, goodness. But yes, isn't it bizarre how actually being not that, like, I mean, what is the kilometers between Toronto and New York? And then I'll look at what the difference, like the kilometers between, say, Brisbane, which is where I am, and Melbourne, which is where Emma and Chev are. Okay, let me see. And I'll work out miles as well. I'll work out miles as well. Okay. Toronto to New York. There we go. All right, so it's 758 kilometers from Toronto to New York. Gosh, you're really close.
I got this out and I showed Mason, and Mason tried to cover it. It's just a Coke. Coca-Cola.
Yeah, she mustn't like it.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so 758 kilometers. If somebody can just, write that down, and I'll work out the miles in a second.
That's a short drive.
Yeah, I was like, that's a short drive. Kilometers from Brisbane to Melbourne.
Oh, from Brisbane to the snow, it's over 1,000.
Yeah, it's 1,774 from Brisbane to Melbourne. Maybe we could. Brisbane to Sydney might be a better comparison. Yeah, 916 to Sydney. All right. All right, so 750 kilometers to miles. 50 kilometers to miles is 466 miles. All right, yeah, that's just really not that far, is it? I was expecting it to be further. I was expecting it to be. Well, that's really quite close. Cheryl says, well, I'm just below Toronto. I'm in Rochester. So I've been to Toronto. Oh, that's awesome. And now look up Florida is to Cuba. No, is it really that close as well? Oh my gosh, the world is such a small place. Okay, kilometers. Look, I was like, welcome to this yarn crafting live stream where we talk about geography. Kilometers from Florida to Cuba. This is 780. I mean, that obviously depends where in Florida you're going from. So let's go Miami.
You've got a dog cam on.
Yes, he was there. Yeah, he's there. I've got a button. I can just flick it off and on as he wanders off. Okay, so it's 530 kilometers from Miami to Cuba. Oh, hang on. There's a thing. What's the closest point? Let me click at that. 264. So
that's just like driving from here to Coffs Harbour, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's close. I didn't realize how close it was. Gosh. See ya. That's my daughter. She's just heading out, so hopefully there'll be no more spraying of things. Sarah says, I haven't been to New York, but it's on my list just because I've never been and want to see it. I would like to see New York. It's on my list too. I don't know if I'll ever go, but it's on my list. Where's the third one? That's the first. That's the second. That's the one I want. Do 3 stitches in that one. Sarah says, I want to be a nerd and do the international train between Toronto and New York. I haven't really done a long train. The longest train I've done is from Brisbane to Childers. That's the longest train I've done. Which, it's not that long, really. Cheryl says, love your blanket. The mint green is so pretty. Isn't it just gorgeous? I absolutely love this. I've actually been really loving all of these colours. We've got a few more to come. Wow, there's something very sweet blowing in. Yeah, we've got a few more colours to come. We've got a lovely purple and a lovely pink. These are Bendigo Woolen Mills. These were a limited edition colour that they had for a while. So, and they just happened to, 2 strands of these held together just happened to be the perfect gauge to match with some Karen cotton cakes that I had. So stash busting project. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. What I want to say is, Cheryl, have you made it to our live streams before? Your name seems familiar, but at the same time not, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Let's have a look here. I had 2 weeks in New York one summer. So much to do, it was not long enough. Yeah, it does seem like you would need a long time just in New York. It's like to see Hobart and Darwin. Oh, I'd like to see Hobart and Darwin. Yeah. Oh no, you just found me today. Oh, well, there you go. Well, thank you and welcome to our live stream. We usually do this every single week, but I'm actually going to miss next week because it's my anniversary and we're going away for a little holiday for a few days. So otherwise we'd be back next week. But we are back on your Friday to do a productivity stream where I don't talk anywhere near as much, which is probably a good thing. And we just have some music from Creator Mix playing in the background. We just get on with our craft. It's a great time to weave in ends and just get any of those jobs done that we just need to do. The productivity stream actually started because I needed someone to keep me company while I wove in 11 billion ends on a project that was nearly done. And I just needed to just, sit down and do it, and kept finding every excuse under the sun not to. So having it as a live stream meant that I had to do it. And it kind of stuck. We have fun with it. Louis is off. Bye, Lou. See you later, big man. He's gone to check what that noise is. It's just Abby opening the gates to leave. So, yeah. I can't believe that this shirt is glowing. It just glows and just changes the colors of everything, doesn't it? That's so funny. Oh, you've just started a burnout granny blanket. Are you going to do it as one big granny or lots of little squares like this one? Or what kind of granny blanket? And are you going to put a border on it? So many questions. Sorry to overwhelm you. Like, oh, welcome to our group. Well, I'm going to overwhelm you with 11 million questions. Let's have a look here. I'm glad you said about the productivity stream on Saturday. Audrey Borrego has made all of her patterns free, so I'm downloading them and I'm over it for a day, for one day. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, no, I am not sunburnt. Let me, like I'll move, I'm not sunburnt, but it's reflecting. It's the reflection. Like, let me just move in. There we go. So if you move further away, less. Moving closer. It's the reflection off my top. It wasn't until Russell actually said, and I sort of held this up and realized it really is reflecting off my top. I won't wear this top again for a live stream. I'm very sorry. No, I won't take it long. I try really hard not to get sunburn. I've had melanoma once. I don't want it again. So yeah. Bianca says, I'm actually just looking at her patterns right now. Oh my gosh. Someone needs to send me the link so later on when I'm having my lunch, I can look at the patterns too. Yeah, you're visible at night. Oh my gosh. I love this top so much. It's so comfortable and light, and the back is actually made out of different fabric and it's actually stretchy. So it's just, and it breathes, and it's just perfect for this hot, humid weather that we're having. But yeah, it's just too much. I didn't realize it was changing the color of things. I didn't realize. Let's have a look. If anyone wants to share photos of their projects, head over to the Fibrific Fun Zone. Kelly, did you drop? Oh, you did drop a link. There we go. Fibrific on Discord. Absolutely. Thank you. If you need help setting up your Discord, let somebody know over there, and or even just, in the general area, I need help, and someone will jump in and help you. Siobhan says, I've done the same with Audrey's pattern. She's been published in Lane and Pom Pom. such a great variety in styles and cabling detail. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, please. I want to see your first sock. Please put that in there. Now we do have the Facebook group as well, but I will be honest, I'm probably more active in Discord than I am on Facebook. So yeah. Oh, you're trying to find a pattern for a blanket. What kind of blanket? Like, do you have anything in mind that you're thinking of? Do you want granny? Do you want something else? Do you want squares or one big piece? Do you want straight crochet or do you want Tunisian? There's so many questions. I can ask so many questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that link so we can all take advantage and go and have a look. Thanks for that. I very much appreciate that. Love the sharing. Love the sharing. So for those of you that are new here, just to double clarify something, we love legal sharing here. We don't take advantage of anyone's copyright. We don't share PDFs or anything like that. We share links to their original content. So unfortunately, there's some really dodgy websites out there that are just so awful that they'll go and buy someone's PDF pattern. Then they'll upload that PDF pattern to their website and sell it. Then they will actually geo-block that designer from their website so they can never find it. And the only way they can find out that they're being ripped off is if somebody from another country sends them a screenshot. And there is multiple websites doing this to designers. So I am so upset about it, but I'm more than happy for link sharing, Ravelry project sharing, PayHip pattern sharing, any of that goes back directly to the designer. But when it's back to an iffy website, and the problem is these websites look right, they look legit. And it is just not awesome. It's just not awesome. Like, I'm just gonna be really honest. And it's so hard because we want to support our designers so they keep designing, right? Like, not everyone can afford to buy patterns, and I get that, that's fine. But those of us that can afford to buy the pattern directly from a designer. So yeah. Oh, Callie's thinking of maybe a Tunisian blanket. So I would say my first point of call for a Tunisian blanket, especially if you want to try some bits and pieces, is TL Yarn Crafts has just recently finished a big crochet along of, like, I think it was a 12 square blanket of all different Tunisian techniques. And it's free from her website, so you've got to put up with ads, or I think you can buy it and download the PDF. But you can totally go and check it out for free. So it's on the TL Yarn Crafts, I think she's a .com. I would definitely go and check that one out, and that will give you some good ideas. Because the other thing is, if you like just one of her squares, you could totally just max it out to be a whole blanket. Callie's Crochet says, I love watching her videos. Me too. I'm obsessed. Leanne says the patterns are generally not much more than a cup of coffee while you're out. Yeah. Look, and I bought sewing patterns, okay? And I think that people who complain about the yarn crafting patterns, and obviously this is a generalization, okay? But yarn crafters, especially those designers who've gone to the effort to do multiple sizings and quite a few sizings, because I only buy from people who do plus size, right? So for me, someone has had to obviously do lots of sizings to fit me. Those designers that have gone to that effort, when you buy a sewing pattern, you need to buy the particular pattern that suits your size. So I'm going to be talking in Australian dollars, so you'll need to do the jiggery pokery math for your local currency. But it is quite easily 15 to 20 Australian dollars for one pattern. And that could suit 3 sizes. But if you need a size outside of that, you'll need to rebuy the pattern for that size. And that's how sewing patterns work. That is standard, right? That is your Bernats, not Bernats. What am I saying? It's like your Simplicity, all those big company patterns. It's how they do it, right? So when I hear of people complaining that one crochet top pattern that spanned across 10 sizes was $5 US, and it worked, like it's been tested and it worked. Like let's just jump right in there. It is tried and true. I get a little bit defensive. I really do. I really do. Obviously, like, oh, let's just drag in the soapbox for that one. Oh, goodness me. Let's have a look here. Sarah says, thank you for the reminder. I put up a picture of my most recent pair of finished mittens. They were a gift from my dad. Oh, that is awesome. Sarah says, also, as a designer, many of us have legitimate ways of getting our patterns for free. Testers get free patterns, for example. Yeah, definitely. And quite often, you'll find that if you go and sit on their website and actually like get served the ads off their website, like while you're reading the pattern, and I know some of them go a bit chaotic with that, like, let's be honest, but you'll get it free that way as well. Some great suggestions in here for Callie. Do we have any other Tunisian blanket suggestions other than the one that I suggested? I'm just going to pop off. I need to grab a tissue, but I'll be brief. I'll be brief. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I did just need to pop out and grab a tissue, which I'll put somewhere a bit more handy. I also had some extra Ventolin and some antihistamines. I have no idea what the smell is. I can't smell it walking around any other room except for this one. And I didn't spray anything in here. I have no idea what it is. And it's such a sweet smell. It smells like one of my daughter's body sprays. So hopefully I'll cope better. Now let me have a look here. I missed some stuff while you guys were chatting and being helpful to each other. I love it. Susanna says, I've replicated the jelly roll blanket, but in Tunisian. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. And absolutely, Sarah Dawn, you guys have made the effort to create something for us to create. Like, everyone should be defending designers, honestly. Holly, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, Leanne's got it. Designers do photos, tutorials, patterns, get their patterns tested, offer help through Facebook groups, and want us to succeed. Paying for their patterns is worth it. I agree. Now, but like, I've been at a point where I couldn't afford to spend money on a pattern. Like, I've been there. I know that, you know, what it's like when you're like, well, I just don't have $5. I'm not going out for a coffee. I'm not buying anything unnecessary. I don't have the spare $5 to spend. I get that. But my brain is probably a little bit different. Whereas it's like, if I can't afford it, I don't get to have it. I'll go and find one of the 40,000 free patterns that are out there. And I learned a lot of techniques and stuff from YouTube videos, from dealing with the ads on people's pages, and just all of the millions of free patterns that are out there. So yeah, I just think that if we all just, you know, it's not a right to have the patterns. And I was reading something, and there, believe it or not, there are legitimately people out there who feel like it's their right to have a free pattern. And that if one of their friends buys a pattern, then none of the rest of them have to pay for it. They all just share the PDF. And I'm like, oh, so cringe. So cringe. And I know it may not be a popular opinion, but that is how we run things here. Susanna says, I can imagine getting a pattern tech edited sometimes by more than one person wouldn't be cheap. Professional tech editors are not cheap, but they are worth every cent. Cheryl says, I did a Tunisian in strips, just a simple stitch. Excuse me, but I loved it. Oh, excuse me. I love Tunisian. I'm working on a cardigan. It's actually a TL Yarn Crafts cardigan. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, my brain's like, you're about to sneeze again, so we can't recall information. But it's in my Ravelry queue, and I'm absolutely loving it. And the majority of it is Tunisian simple stitch. I love simple stitch. It looks gorgeous. And then we've just got a bit of detailing with some honeycomb stitch, and it is so fun to do. Let me see. Holly says that Jada in Stitches did a Tunisian cal a couple of years ago, which was fun. She did a different stitch pattern every month, and then you got to sew it together. It's awesome. I did Tunisian fabric, then did cross stitch in yarn on it. It's nearly finished. Oh yeah, of course, because all the straight lines. Absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely. There's tons of free patterns out there. And then eventually, like if you really think about it, especially if you're a bit more seasoned, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to grab this stitch from this pattern that I did 11 billion years ago, and I'm going to grab this stitch from this pattern, but I'm going to use this shape on this, and you've pulled together your own personal favorites. Do you know what I mean? I love it. I love it. Oh yes, it always annoys me when people say, oh, it's just the price of a cup of coffee, because not everybody can afford that cup of coffee. It's while I do offer free patterns. But see, coming from a person who grew up unable to afford that cup of coffee, and for quite a few years after I was an adult, just accepting that sometimes there's things you can't have. Like, sorry, go and find a free thing, you know? There's plenty out there. Sarah says, I think it's because for a long time patterns were often free as loss leaders for yarn companies. There's this school of thought, I should keep crocheting, otherwise I'm never going to get this done. There's this school of thought that people, like for those people that feel that all patterns should be free, as I bought the yarn, I deserve a free pattern, blah, 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 blah. Like the yarn companies have paid the designers for those patterns. They've paid for the rights to those patterns, and so they have been paid for, just not by you. And so those patterns were all paid for. They weren't free for the designer to make. And so those designers were paid. But it's like, for me, it's not even so much like that, you know, yarn companies do have the free patterns, and that's great because it celebrates their pattern and celebrates the yarn. Cool. Perfect pairing, perfect match. Love that. It's the attitude of the people that feel that every pattern should be free, because not every designer has scored a yarn deal, a yarn company deal. So that's where, you know, my brain gets stuck. Oh, thank you, Knit Spin Girls. I don't know what it is, but something has really set off my hay fever, and now it's affecting my breathing a little bit. I've had some extra stuff when I went to go and grab the tissues, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there's lots of ways to get free patterns. Absolutely. Leanne's asking, what about book sharing? Is it okay to share? I've wondered about it and feels like it's okay to share books. I would say that it's fine to share a book as long as they're not photocopying the pattern and walking away with it. You have handed them the actual copy of the book for the duration of that pattern, so you are currently unable to use it because that other person has it, like libraries. Somebody else has the book, you can't be using it. That's how I see that. I got no issues with sharing a book because they will give that book back. They don't own it, they're borrowing it. If you send someone a PDF, however, they're not going to send the PDF back to you. There's no need because you sent them a copy, not the original. So yeah, or you made them a copy. Yeah. I mean, admittedly, libraries have to pay a lot more for books than civilians do. I'm not sure if you knew that, but a book at a library, like the exact same book, is not the same price as what, like, bookstore. They have to get it under a different license, but I have a different attitude when it comes to books than sharing PDFs, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Let me see here. Chantel, please get your daughter not to use that body spray. I found the more I got exposed, the more my asthma and allergies. Hang on, come back. Allergies got set off, and maybe she can spray it on outside on her way out. She was like, I haven't sprayed anything. And I went into her room. The smell is not in her room, and it's not in the bathroom, which is both the doors directly outside of my door. I have no idea what it is. So, yeah. And she's gone out now and it's still happening. So I would, you know what? I moved a thing. Let me just check it. No, that's not it. I had some bottles with some like little essential oil perfumes in my bowl, and I sort of was zhuzhing around in it looking for something. I thought maybe I broke something, but the smell's totally different as well. Not that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go hunting after the stream, let me tell you. Game Widow says, I accidentally purchased a PDF pattern book twice instead of cancelling the order. I just sent that to a gift to a friend. Yeah, and that's totally different. You paid for it twice. So, yeah, mystery smell. It's very sweet smelling. It is a mystery smell. Sweet smelling. Smells, I swear it smells like a teenage body spray. Teenage girl body spray. Yeah, I don't know. My poor husband, like, he cannot spray his deodorant on in the ensuite. He has to go out into the living area, or some other way. So no, this is a house. We don't share. There's no shared walls. So I've got like a quarter acre block with just a little house on it. So I don't think, and the windows are all closed because the aircon's on. So I don't think it's coming from the neighbours. So yeah, I don't know. I'll work it out. I'll work it out. It'll be something dumb, right? Like, of course it will. It'll be something totally legit dumb, and you'll just be like, really? Really? How is that affecting me like this? Yeah. But I've just realized, like, just when I breathed in there, that extra Ventolin is doing the right thing and it's making breathing easier again. And so I'm a happy camper. So sorry to worry everybody. Oh, it is weird. It's a weird one, because especially considering that I'm currently home alone now. And yeah. Very weird. Yeah, there is. He could use a roll-on. I agree with you, but he prefers to spray, so he has to use his dodgy sprays elsewhere. What have I done there? There we go. Oh, I need to yarn over. But yeah, breathing is important. I agree. I definitely agree. Not optional. Definitely one of those things in life that we all need to do, breathing in and out at regular intervals. Absolutely. Oh dear. It was one of the reasons why I had to stop wearing lav mics, actually, was I used to wear a lav mic all the time, but when my asthma was bad, people could hear like my chest rattling, and it was really disconcerting for everybody. So I'm like, get rid of the lav mic. I'm used to that sound. So I've had to do it. Like, I've had breathing issues my entire life, so I'm kind of used to it. Maybe it was her deodorant or dry shampoo. I used to get set off by men's aftershaves at work. It could be anything, honestly. She's not really a big dry shampoo user, but it could be that. I'll go and check the smell of her dry shampoo. She does have one. Oh dear. 100% not optional. Absolutely essential. Please continue to breathe. Yeah, they are look, there's some dodgy stuff in colognes and deodorants and body sprays, and for those of us that react to like any strong smell, like even the ones that don't have anything dodgy or extra dodgy in them, it's just literally the smell, the scent that sets me off. So and some of the aerosol ones, they like feel like they take my breath away, whereas the other ones just set this off, like the scent sets this off. So yeah, it's weird. Lungs are weird, bodies are weird, humans are weird. We are nearly Actually, no, we're not. I'm like, oh, we're nearly done. No, we're not. I've still got a whole other corner to do and a whole other corner after that. We're like halfway done. How long does it take to do to do one round? I mean, I did walk away. I did talk with my hands a lot. I went on a rant. Oh gosh. And Abby was like, oh, telling her friend, because this is for a friend of Abby's, like, oh yeah, your blanket's nearly done. And I'm like, no, it's not. Abby's like, you're up to the border. I'm like, yeah, the border is gonna take some time, honey. Oh, thank you. I will hydrate, actually. Oh, oh my gosh, walking past people in the supermarkets that have literally just bathed in their perfume. Oh my gosh, yeah. Absolutely. I've got the full Yetis on today. I had the coffee, which is done. Tea's nearly over as well. And we've got the ice water. So we've got the triple Yetis happening. On meds for allergies, yeah, me too. It's awful, right? It's just like, I have to survive in this world as well. Just not my favorite. Did Louis bring something in? I mean, that's a good question. Hey, Louis. Do you smell sweet? Let me have a smell, big man. No, you just smell like Louis. He just smells like Louis. He doesn't smell like, you know, anything particularly different. We do have a thing here if you do want to buy a coffee. That's not it. Where is my little, there it is, my little doobie. If you do want to shout me a coffee, I always accept coffees gratefully. Love coffee. Coffee's amazing. If you do shout a coffee during the stream, it shows up on the screen and we shout you out as well. So, but yeah, so let me know in the chat, am I the only one obsessed with half double treble or half double crochet borders? Because I just love them. I've realized I have a lot of blankets with this border on it. Either this or like crab stitch, hey. And so what I do is, just to show you, I do an extra round. Let me just see if I can zoom in anymore. I probably can't. That's it. That's as far as I can zoom in. All right. Actually, oh, hello. Hello, Chantel, who has a close-up camera specifically for this. Come on. There we go. Hopefully my hands won't be too shaky because I have just had ventilation. Actually, do you know what I can do? I can get around that. Just bear with me for just 1 second. I can get around this. There we go. On its little stand. All right. So what I've done here, in the setup to doing this, I've done an extra row of single crochet around all of the granny square bits, right? So in the space on the granny squares, every stitch got, oops, hello, it just had a little heart attack. So in the spaces here, every stitch got a single crochet. Then the next round I changed colors to be over on the half double crochets, and it just stood up like a normal half double crochet, like this green one is here, just standing up like normal. It's not till you come in for the next round and actually work into, let me just get this ready here. It's not till you come into this next round and work into not the front loops, which is you would normally work here, but find this third loop at the back. So 1, 2, and the third loop. And when you work into that back third loop, oops, I'm working with 2 strands of yarn here and just dropped one. Good job, me. Oh, it's stopped again. Stop doing that. Why are you doing that? We don't like this. All right. This little camera is not playing. We will, yeah, I'm just going to change back over to the other one. It's not as good, but, you know, it works. So what we do is we work into not the front 2, but into this back third one, and it will actually just tilt everything forward. So, yeah, it's, look, you know how I made the shocking announcement. It's shocking to some of you that I'm actually going to be changing to iPhone. And one of the reasons is I like to utilize these iPhones of Abby's for different cameras to utilize extras here. Unfortunately, one of Abby's rejects that does a lot of the extra camera stuff is broken, right? It's technically broken. And it literally, like if you're watching this screen, it just changes things. It's all smashed up down the bottom here. So it just does stuff. It just pops things in, opens apps. Usually while the continuity camera is on, it doesn't do any of that. It's normally very good. There we go. Look, we'll see if it's going to work again now. There we go. Look at that. Usually it doesn't do any of that while it's on. So let's have a look. Let's see if it's back on again now. Let's see if we've got this. So we do our single crochet round in the same color as whatever the rest of the edges were. And then I changed colors and did that as half double crochets or half trebles. And then as I'm doing, and I did that same thing for the next round here, but I'm in the third round now. So, and then I do that here, but instead of working into the front of the stitch like you would normally do when you're working in your trebles and what have you, you roll it forward and you find there's a third loop because of how the half trebles are made. They all have an extra loop on the back. So you're working into that extra loop. So you've got your two there, but there's a third one. So we're working onto that extra loop. Thank you, camera, for doing what I needed you to do finally. So yes, that's what we're doing here. And we just do that over and over and over again. John says, iPhone, boo hiss, I'm leaving. Hey, John, it's been a while. I hope you're doing okay. I saw your posts over in the Discord. I am glad is that blanket finished now? You were so close to being done. So yeah. And yes, I have Apple computers because of work, and I've been finding that there's another task I'm doing for one of my clients now, and I'm constantly having to transfer data from my computer to my phone to do it. And because it's stuff for Instagram, and Instagram is notoriously bad on desktop, let's be honest. And to transfer it to my Android phone has actually been more of a nightmare than I anticipated, right? So I've got Google Drive, so I set up a Google Drive so that I could just open the Google Drive and download everything I needed from that. Except sometimes, for whatever reason, it goes, no, you can't download any of that. No. So then I have to email everything to myself. And I'm just sort of sitting here like, what would solve this? AirDrop. Seriously, AirDrop would solve this. So I have been saving because also iPhones are stupidly expensive. And now I'm seriously contemplating which iPhone I'm going to be buying. And I know that for years I've been like, iPhone, no. But it's for work. So what can I say? Oh, it's done. And excellent. I'll go and look at it after the stream is over. That's so cool. You can't even see to the end of the street because of the snow. Oh my gosh. Wow. You're so glad you're inside knitting with all of us for company. I'm so glad you are as well. John, are you coping with the cold where you are? Let me have a look. I missed some stuff. I'm just scrolling back here. I did camera post. It's making for a nice string border. Yeah, I like this. And because we're going to have 5 rows, and then in the final row, so it doesn't just sit like that, we'll do slip stitches across the back in the same color so that they tilt forward. Oh no, don't fall on the ground. So they tilt forward, how all the others are tilting forward. So yeah. John says I'm in New England. Cold is kind of our thing. I mean, true. Like, yeah. I mean, technically I'm in Queensland, so heat's supposed to be my thing, but it's not. It's not. I don't like it. I put the air conditioning on and I refuse to go outside. It's during certain times of the day and I'm not dealing with it. Oh, strong, that should have said, not string. Okay. All right. That does make more sense. Lots of people from the cold places hanging out in the chat. That is awesome. I love to hear about the cold. I love to watch, like, I've been watching some people who have bought like off-grid cabins in Alaska where they've got to, like, you know, set up their own generators and power sources and stuff like that. They look like normal houses-ish, like a bit rough, but, you know, a little house. And, you know, they've got to set up electricity for water pumping and stuff like that. And I think actually one of the channels I've called is called Off Grid Alaska. And it's just a couple who just started posting videos. Their production quality is not amazing, but they're having a go. And what they're showing is fun. And, like, they started from when they bought the property. So I think they've owned it now for maybe a little over a year. So, and they kind of bought it sight unseen. Like they knew, like that a family friend or a family member had gone through it, but they hadn't. And they knew there was some car bodies under the snow because they could still see the top of a couple. But in the first melt, John watches Off Grid Alaska. Oh my gosh. And in that first melt, there was, how many cars did they find? There was like 30 cars or something. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just this fun show, and I love what's the chicken Svalbard? I love her as well. I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, she's amazing, and just like oh yeah, it's cold. I'm gonna put on these 19 layers, and it'll be fine. And it's like a total non-event. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear these, you know, leggings, pants, long sleeve shirt, jacket, overcoat. I'm just going up to the post office. I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. But yeah. Oh, have an awesome day at work. It was so good to see you here as well, Nat. Yeah, Off Grid Alaska, it is. It's just this sort of husband and wife they're just getting stuff done, and I kind of love it. Oh, and the house just had ridiculous amounts of woodworking tools, like just ridiculous. And it is kind of funny that they're like, oh yeah, we found this wood shop that just got like 11 billion things, basically anything we need to ever build anything ever, including all the lumber supplies to do it. There's someone else who does a cabin grid in Alaska. She does a lot of shorts. I can't remember her name. There's actually quite a few. There's one chick, I don't know if she's in Canada or in Alaska, and she's an American, no, she's in Sweden. She's off-grid Sweden, and she basically as her job, she's a designer who does all of the like the technical design of things. So she's used to designing furniture, but never had to build it herself. So she's like having this like fun of building all this furniture and learning how to do all this stuff. And she doesn't drive, so she's got this bike that she bought a trailer for, and she's got to ride into town, and it's like a ways. Like, I love it. Oh, it's not Off Grid Alaska, it's Simple Living Alaska. That's all right. They're probably just as good. I would definitely go and check out Off Grid Alaska though. Like, it's a very rustic channel. Like, you know, they do things like accidentally record in vertical every now and again, or there was this one scene which was really funny where they realized they were actually recording on the wrong facing camera, but there was a reflection that caught everything anyway. So, you know, I enjoy it for what it is. And that's the kind of content I'll sit on the lounge and I'll put my feet up and I'll just put it on and watch it while I'm doing other stuff. I love it. I really love it. But yeah, I don't know why I got suggested. YouTube suggested it. I was probably complaining about how hot it was or something, and YouTube was like, well, if you need some cold, here's some cold. So yeah, so it's definitely one of those things. It's definitely one of the things. Francis is just home from Craft Alive. Spent the morning demonstrating for the New South Wales Guild. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds awesome fun. I was kind of hoping to have at least one round of this blanket done during this live stream, but it turns out the answer is no, because the end is still like, the end is like very far away. I'm going to stop looking, but the end is very far away. I'm like, I hope I have enough green for this. I should do. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. John says, oh, sure, I complain about the heat and it shows me Jack out the back like, have more heat. Yeah, whereas I complain about the heat, it's like, oh, well, then here's some snow. Here's like them digging their house out of like an Arctic blast and loving it. Like, oh, I won't have to work on the treadmill today. This is my workout. Oh, yes, this only took us 5 hours to dig our patio out. So, yeah, that's funny. So funny. I feel like I fell into sheep shearing and farm video rabbit hole. My dad saw what I was watching and asked if I didn't see enough of that growing up. Look, I'm going to say this. I also, and I've said this before, I also watch Tim the Lawnmower Man, which is hilarious because my husband's name is Tim, and he mows our lawns, and he was wondering why I will watch this guy mow lawns, but I won't watch Tim mow lawns, like my husband mow lawns. And I'm like, honey, you don't do the edges like he does. Like, it's all about those edges. But I don't know what it is. I just put it on in the background, and it's just mildly, it's just satisfying content. I do put that one on a lot. I actually put that on when I've got to concentrate or think about something. I'll pop that on. And I think it is the sped up sound of the whippersnippers and lawnmowers that actually it's like white noise. It's great. Let's have a look here. Sarah says, though right now most of my YouTube recommendations are either like fiber people or YouTube educators or Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. Since I had to look up a walkthrough to finish a quest. It's usually how it is. It's usually how it is. And I do see you over in a lot of YouTube educators stuff. Because I work for a lot of YouTube, well, not a lot. I currently am actively paid working for 2 YouTube educators, but also moderate for a couple of others. So yeah, it's my day job now, is working for YouTube creators. So Fibrific, which was once my biggest income and day job, is now my sort of side job and my fun, my side hustle. And you know what? Changing my craft back out of being my main income and making it back to being something I can enjoy, I didn't realize how much I needed it until it happened. I was like mourning the loss of my business, and then realized I could just make whatever I wanted to make without thinking about, oh, am I using hooks or needles that I sell? Oh, is this my yarn that I've dyed, or is this yarn that I have an affiliate link for? You stop that, John, because the answer is no. The answer is no. Stop it. Because 2 4-plies equals a worsted weight, which is the equivalent of a 10-ply. So, is what I'm going to say to that. Let's have a look here. Sarah says, oh yeah, I see a mod for a bunch of folks. Yeah, I love it. It's great. I may rate the standard of shearing sheds and the quality of the shearing. I also wonder what the cook is feeding them. There's a guy I watch called Kent Survival, and I actually think I watch it not so much for like his outdoorsing, but he always cooks up like dinner and breakfast at least, and he cooks some pretty cool stuff. And so I love that content, and I think I do watch it for the recipes more than for the actual outdoorsering. Although I don't mind watching when he does some like, what does he call it? Where he'll make like a chair out of some sticks, so I like that. Susanna says, oh my God, I love Tim and I watch Blade Mate Lawn Care. Yeah, I like SB mowing and Tim the Lawnmower Man. They're my two favorite lawn. Like, I have favorite lawn mowing shows. Like, oh my gosh, who even am I? My dad would just be laughing if he knew. He'd be like, oh my gosh, what are you even doing, you psychopath? Dolores says, I enjoy Simple Living Alaska. It's a homesteading style channel. My husband's really gotten into this guy who does car detailing of cars that have been kind of like abandoned, and they are gross and disgusting. And this guy makes them like schmick. I mean, they're not perfect because these cars have been abandoned and their paintwork is dodgy, but he gets them absolutely as clean as they can be. Dolores, I just watched them make the workbench they could probably park one of their trucks on. Bushcraft. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Absolutely. Bushcraft. But yeah, it's interesting. And just like the tools that he has, that he carries with him, like the cool saw that he uses for chopping his firewood, you know, like that's amazing. But yeah, what did I just recently watch? I've been watching John Malecki's channel a bit lately. And he's a woodworker. He does some pretty cool and fun stuff too. So I like his stuff. It's entertaining and he's funny. But yeah, like there's just that's one thing about YouTube, right? Whatever it is that you're interested in, good chance you're going to find a channel about it, or even multiple channels about it. And I love that. I love that there's so many yarn crafters on here. I love that there are so many dyers, that there are so many lawnmower channels. You know, like I can find a video to fix my stupid printer. You know, just I love YouTube. So a friend of mine got accused of being a YouTube shill the other day. And I'm sort of sitting here thinking, how is that an insult? Shouldn't all of us who have YouTube channels, be YouTube shills? Like, but keeping in mind that you can be a shill for something and then, but still like be like, hey, you know, this is wrong. This needs sorting. Like, still stand up. But like when something's positive and something's good, like, shouldn't you shout it from the rooftops? Anyway, that's my belief. Self-sufficient me is an Aussie. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's just so many amazing channels out there. I love it. And the variety. I think the only real niche that I haven't been able to get into, and it's, you know, is the kids channels. Like, I'm not a kid. It's not meant for me. I'm not supposed to get into it. But every now and again, I'll watch some kid channel, like some episode of something from some kids channel. I'll just be thinking, oh my God, what did I just watch? Like, what happened? This is weird. And quickly change the channel. Like, you know, find something else to watch. I'm like, I need something else. I'm going to go and watch a murder. I'm going to watch, oh, speaking of murders, I've started watching Will Trent. So I watched all of High Potential, which I love, but I'm out of episodes. So I've got to wait for some more episodes to come. I'll be watching them when they come back. But Netflix, Paramount Plus is what it's on. I suggested Will Trent, and I've been enjoying Will Trent so far. So that's been good too. So yeah. I love these suggestions for different channels for you guys to test out and try out. I think that is so cool. I love it. Now, there is a YouTube feature that is slowly being rolled out. I do not have it yet, but once I have it, I will be turning it on, right? I know we're over time, but I'm going to tell you about this feature. I should have told you about it earlier. So those of you that are still here, you'll get to hear about it. YouTube is bringing a feature to the communities area, you know, where I put the little posts and stuff like that, where you'll be able to post, where you'll be able to like, hey, I need help with this stitch. Here's a photo, boom. Now you can only upload photos at this stage. I don't have access yet, so keep an eye out. And it is currently mobile only. So I can only see it from mobile. You can only use it from mobile, but it is mobile only. So when it comes out, I'll let you know. But some other channels have got it. So you might be able to start checking it out on some other channels and see if you like it. So we're definitely going to run a test on it. Oh, Holly says, I love that you mentioned high potential, and then I get a Hulu message that new episodes are available. I'm like, I'm going to be checking to see if I've got any new episodes available. I don't have Hulu, but surely I won't be too far behind. But yeah, it's yeah, lots of fun stuff out there. Oh yeah, I saw one that someone said something about a cottage in Scotland. I used to watch a yarn crafter dye on YouTube. They had a complete life change, and now the videos are fixing up their new cottage in Scotland. No yarn at all, but the videos are amazing. I watched somebody they were able to buy like there was some deal with Scotland or Ireland where if you bought one of these really old, it was basically a barn, and you had to do it up within 12 months to where you could live in it. If you did that, you would get this grant. And so they were working on that, and that looked like they were going to, I mean, I haven't seen a video for a bit, but it looked like they were getting ready to move in last time I saw. So, yeah. But they were currently living on site in like a really cute caravan that they decked out and built a little veranda on because they've got kids as well, which is the other fun thing. But yeah, anyway, YouTube is a super fun place. We're doing lots of fun things, showing us all this stuff. So just to reiterate, there is a productivity stream on Saturday. That will be happening. My Saturday, maybe your Friday. Next week's Thursday live stream is not happening. I won't be here. I'm going away on a little holiday. So, but I'll be back the following week. I'm just having a week away. So, if I don't see you on the productivity stream, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I hope that you jump over into the Discord, that you go and keep chatting. I'll be still in the Discord. I just won't be live streaming. I will catch you all later. You have an awesome week. Remember that you're the boss of your craft, and enjoy it. Bye now.